Welcome to the Encouragement Conquers All podcast with Justin Fatica, the podcast for people who want to learn how to be the most encouraging person on the planet and enhance their encouragement superpowers. Now here's your host, Justin.
Welcome, amazing nation, to the Encouragement Conquers All podcast. I'm your host, Justin Fatica. And for over 25 years, I have been speaking nationally and internationally about encouragement and the You're Amazing message. I'm an author, a coach, and most importantly, a husband and father of 5. I'm pumped to welcome you to the most encouraging podcast on the planet. We're here to talk about how you can become the most encouraging person on the planet. The reason why I'm so passionate about encouragement and why I believe it's a sort of a superpower to conquer all things is because a mentor in my life showed me this. You might know who Ken Blanchard is. He's actually an all-time best-selling author on the New York Times all-time best-selling author list. Well, I was low in my life. I had no idea who Ken Blanchard was or even what he did. But my friend and good buddy said, "Hey, you've been pretty down, because I know you want to go help so many people, and I know it's been so hard for you." And my buddy said, "I don't understand why it's so hard for you to help people, to encourage people. But I have a guy who actually speaks all over the world, has been doing it for a long time. He actually writes some books. I don't know what they are, but he might be able to help you." Well, I went out to lunch with this guy, and I've actually been going out to lunch with him every year, once or twice a year, for the past 14 years. I sat down with him and he asked me what I did. And I said, I want to help encourage people and love people, but it's hard. I was at one of the most lowest times in my life and I felt the most rejected. And I felt like a failure like I never felt before. And so whenever I feel like a failure, when I hang out with somebody, I always tell them the worst things that have happened to me. You think that's pretty dumb, but I always thought if you say the worst things about yourself and they still love you, then guess what? You won't be let down. So I looked at this guy, I said, "Man, I got 820 on my SATs. And he looks at me and I knew he was pretty special and he was pretty well known. So I was thinking, he'd be like, man, that's got to be tough. But he said, "Man, you beat me by 40. I got 860. I'll remember that moment for the rest of my life of what encouragement is all about. Encouragement isn't that you're a superhero. Encouragement is that you're just an ordinary person willing to take a risk to do extraordinary things." Ken shared that with me. He helped me conquer all by realizing I didn't need to be perfect to do great things. I just needed to get up every day and do my very best. We live in a culture that has forgotten about the need for encouragement. Who doesn't need some direction and guidance and encouragement in their life? Every time I go out with Ken, he's there to build me up. And I want to be like that guy. I want to be one of the most encouraging people on the planet. Each Wednesday, you can join me as I interview experts in encouragement from all walks of life. Mentors and leaders, athletes, business leaders, parents. And they share with me how they strive to be the most encouraging person on the planet. You see, this podcast isn't about your belief system. This podcast is about how we're all taking action on our belief system. There's a difference. Anyone can be the most encouraging person on the planet. The question is, are you going to join the amazing nation to do that?
Thanks for listening to the Encouragement Conquers All podcast with Justin Fatica. Make sure to subscribe and follow to be notified when the newest episodes of the podcast go live. You can find contact information and important links in the show notes. Stay tuned for the next episode.